Alright, well I've decided, because I'm getting impatient and I want to start my repotting season a little bit early. I think a lot of these trees are going to start pushing out in the next couple weeks outside. But for now, I want to pot up this little maple. Pretty sure it's a little Norway maple. This one I think I got from the ground at my old place. I don't think I got it here. But anyways, I pruned it on one of my recent videos. And yeah, so you can see all the root on the top there. It's just a small pot falling apart. You can see all the root that's developed in there. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, this pot's garbage now anyways, so I'm gonna bring that inside. I'll put it in the little indoor tent, indoor greenhouse thingy. And once it starts budding out, then I'll repot and do some major root pruning and put it in probably a slightly bigger pot with some fresh soil. And that'll be my first hardy repot of the year. Can't wait to do the rest. This one is just ready to go. All right, time to bring it inside. Okay, it's April 4th today. I've had this little maple, I believe it's a Norway maple. I brought it inside about 4 or 5 days ago to start warming it up, but there hasn't been any bud break or, nothing coming out yet. This bud down here is nice and green, but it's been like that for a while. There are some weeds that are now coming up, so I'm sure the buds will open up soon. And I definitely want to get a start on my repotting season. I'm gonna have a lot of things to do, so the more I can do now, which is probably about a week early, maybe. Some of my trees might open up in a few days, but the weather isn't warming up too much. It'll be kind of 8 and below. It was up to 8 degrees today, but it was fairly cloudy, not a lot of sun. So yeah, this pot I've shown on video before is falling apart and there's tons of roots in there. So I'll just pop it out like that. This will get recycled. Maybe I can use it for something else, I don't know. Yeah, so obviously it's not root bound, but there's lots of root growth. It's close to root bound. Fairly small pot, very vigorous root growth this year. I only put this in this pot last year, I'm pretty sure. I'll have to check through my videos again, but I don't remember how small this was when I first got it. I first pulled it out of the ground. But, with pretty much all of my trees, what I want to do is really focus on root training. Try and repot as much as I can every year, especially the younger trees. I found my little blue, let's call it a chopstick. It's the handle of a cheap paintbrush. This, I haven't really worked with a lot of trees that have a ton of root growth. This is just about as dense as I've worked with, you know, in terms of root density in the soil. It was a really nice, well-draining, coarse-grained bonsai soil that I put this in. It's still pretty damp. I watered it, you know, when I brought it in, but it's pretty humid in my little indoor grow tent. It's a little trickier than I thought it would be, maybe because the soil's so wet. Probably is. I have repotted trees with some pretty dense roots in them before, and usually with my soil mix it comes out a little bit easier than this. I don't know how long it's been in this soil, but it seems to be fairly broken down actually. Maybe it was one of my older mixes. Maybe I used, yeah, I don't know. Anyways, there's a huge thick mat of root right here that's gonna have to come off. Try and build my nice radial root base as much as I can with each repotting of every tree. They're just growing all twisted up, so as I get them all moving in the right direction, it gets a little easier to get that soil out. There's a whole bunch of roots in there actually. Quite awesome. I should have checked all my old videos first, but I think, you know, this is just about a year's worth of growth. I should have got a bucket of water ready. Just have a little bit, and you know, the big water bottle I use as a watering can. Holes poked in the lid. Pretty minimalistic around here, or cheap, that might be a better term. Get these cleaned up now. I'll just spray water on them for now. Yeah, I was planning to reuse this soil, but it looks pretty well broken down. I'll wait till it dries out and then sift it and mix it with some other good stuff. Try and replenish it. There's a little bit of cleaned up root. So yeah, you can see actually there's a huge root way up here. I'm going to get rid of that entirely. And then it's got an even thicker base to the trunk down here. So that's very cool. Lots of good taper. Maybe I did prune this one before. I must have, because that's a fairly radial root system already. Cool. All right. Okay. I got some more water. I sanitized my good pruners because I'm gonna take off this thick root there first. There's some other high ones I can get rid of too. I'll use the smaller pruners for that. So for this one, I'll just make a flush cut. Just like that, nice. So that gets rid of a little bit of root there. And then I'm just gonna use these old scissors to get rid of the small stuff here. There's a whole bunch of roots up there that I don't need. Okay. Now maybe I'll clean it out a little bit more with some water and then get rid of this there's like a big knot of roots in there. I think if I just cut it off right here, that'll be okay. I'll need to use the big pruners, so I'll clean it off some more. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Now, first things first, get rid of that big lump. And maybe leave it, you can see there's one kind of whitish root there. Yeah, I'll cut it at an angle this way, try and encourage some more kind of tapering out and down roots. Yeah, a whole bunch came off there. So there's a bunch of nice fine roots that come out of that cut point, so that's really good. I'll get rid of a couple that are growing in weird directions. Don't really need these up here. Now if this is going to be my root plane, I don't... Okay, well first, this one's no good down here, that can come off. Should use the good pruners, but it's too dirty in there. This one grows up at a weird angle, that can come off. And that other fine one there. These ones come down and flow fairly nicely, except for that one. Okay. I don't need that. Maybe, yeah. My root plane is going to be down here with this one, so think I'm going to get rid of these two up here and leave all the finer ones below. Okay, in come the good pruners again. I'll get rid of this one over here. Nice and flush. Pretty sizable root. And yeah, I'll get rid of that one too. Some small ones up here can go. Oops. I almost broke the leading bud off with my scissors. Some small ones here growing up can go. That one's growing at a weird angle. You can see I can try and encourage it to go radial, but I think it'll come back that way, so take it off. And this one comes out pretty good. Actually, it goes down, which isn't great. I should just get rid of that entirely. Yeah, I'll flatten the whole base of the tree here. And take out all of, well, first I'll just take out that root I don't want, quite a bit. And then there's another one in there I don't want. And then I'll flatten it. Yeah, there was some soil in there, I heard it crunch through. Okay, I think that's not bad. I'm thinking I should probably leave everything that's on here. It's a little bit one-sided, but actually that one twists at a bad angle. And then I'll let that one grow out this way. I think don't really want to risk much more than that. Although that root, again, weird angle, gonna have to get rid of it. Every time I say I don't want to cut more, I have to. And this one, weird angle, getting rid of it. Just shorten those a little bit. Okay. That's enough now. No, it isn't. One more there. Gone. Okay, now I really need to give that a break. Sorry for the traffic noise. All right, well, yeah, you can see that root system's pretty much just a half a circle. But I think if I pot it kind of like that, it'll be okay. And then there will be more that grow out over here. There's a couple of really fine ones already. Now, just need to shorten this a little bit more, actually. I'll do the Nigel technique. Put it on a flat surface first, just like that. Can the camera see that? Yep. So it doesn't really stand up on its own because, yeah, just one-sided, but some of those are just a little bit too long for the pot. It's better. Okay, we'll get that pot prepared. I don't really use screens. I just have some, really coarse grain perlite and lava rock and pumice, whatever large stuff that I've sifted out of my soil. And then so those ones cover all the holes. And then I put this stuff in. And that keeps everything in there pretty good. By the time it breaks down, all the roots will be holding everything together. So I want to pot this fairly deeply, but I think somewhere like there. And that actually, the root flare, that's a pretty good start of a root system, I think, overall. There is probably one more I should get rid of. Actually, yeah. You can see, so this root obviously is way too thick. And there's actually a better root underneath. It's kind of fused, but yeah, actually it is a separate thing. So if I get rid of this big root, then one underneath will be much better. Try and cut that flush. Perfect. Okay, so that got rid of that. And I did not chop through the one below, and that's a much better, more balanced root system. Dang, I'm actually really liking this. This is my new favorite tree. Okay. So the lean on this tree is even more accentuated now, but I think it suits the root base, at least to be planted at this angle for now, while it's still training. And then I'll have some growth coming out this way, and this can keep twisting up that way. And I think that'll be pretty cool. Just want to get a little bit more soil in between these roots. I'll probably put a couple rocks on the surface here too. because there's not a lot of roots to hold this tree in place yet. I cut most of them off. The rocks will just give it a little bit of extra something, weight, to keep it, you know, nice and sturdy in the pot. I can feel quite a pocket right underneath the tree where there were no roots. I'd chopped out quite a bit. Okay, I think that's fairly good. I'll water it, put some rocks on it, and then it should be held in there pretty good. This soil's fairly heavy with all the turfus or safety zorb, fuller's earth, whatever you call it, that I put in there. These clay particles hold everything down, and that's already much sturdier. The pot's wobbling, but the tree's fairly good in there. So I'll just keep watering until this, you know, the water runs clear. It's almost there. This is just plain water, tap water. I'll start collecting rainwater this spring, well, soon actually. I have rain barrels here on the property. And yeah, so once it starts draining more, you know, clear, really give myself room, put these rocks on. Maybe just that one over on this side where there were no roots. Pretty sure it was that side. This one was on my dogwood, but it doesn't need it anymore. I can go right there. Just kind of sandwich it in. And I'll call that good for now. I'll remove those rocks in a month or two once the roots grow in and it, you know, stabilizes itself in the pot. This was a really fun repotting session. I have high hopes for this tree in the future. This was one of the ones that I pruned last month. Here, and here in the back. Yeah. It's in a slightly bigger pot with a nice refreshed root system. It'll start growing like crazy soon. I'm gonna bring it inside again because I want it to start fleshing out right away to get some, you know, it's gonna wanna build some strength to put back down into the root system, so it should wanna pop out leaves. And yeah, then I'll start fertilizing it, let it grow a whole bunch, and yeah, I'll just keep it inside while there's still freezing temperatures. I'll bring it outside during the day, give it some fresh air and sunshine, and pretty soon it'll be on its way. Okay, that's enough for now. As always, thanks for watching. Catch you next time. Cheers. Just a final note here, I didn't actually show it before, but that's all the root I cut off of that little tree. That's crazy. I probably cut off over 90% of the root system on that. So hopefully it survives, and I didn't do too much too early in the season. You know, it hadn't burst its buds yet, but it was pretty healthy. It'll be inside getting babied. I think it'll be okay. All right, that's enough for now.